walk away, yeah, before you get hurt too bad. Look away, yeah, watching her's far too sad. And time doesn't heal nobody. The hourglass can't set you free. Love shouldn't hurt nobody, but somebody's hurt like me. Stay away, yeah. Don't you get close to me. Fade away, yeah. Living in a memory, and I wouldn't hurt nobody. Baby, won't you listen to me? Love is for somebody. Time is gonna lead her to me. I won't confuse her now. I won't try no more. Not to amuse your soul. No goodbye no more.
Alright, cool. Hey everyone, welcome to the Shawn Will Be Here podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Will, and today I will be here with...
Dave Crumbley, that's me.
Alright, Dave Crumbley. For anyone who can't read that sign or is listening to the audio version, describe yourself to the audience. What are you?
6'1", curly-haired, often sweaty, bone dry right now.
Right, but what is your occupation?
Stand-up comedian.
Stand-up comedian.
I'm a comedian. I've been doing stand-up comedy for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years this upcoming spring.
Yeah, a decade of the ha-has. A decade.
Long, a legacy in the biz.
Yeah.
But now I'm super busy running events. I promote a lot of events. I promote events in Toledo. I promoted an event in Lisbon, Portugal, which was sick.
Yeah, I heard about
Crumbley
that.
Cup Euro. Some are calling it the greatest Crumbley Cup of all time.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't there.
It was sick, brother. You had to be European to be there.
Couldn't get my passport.
It was strictly a European experience, but no, I that's my full-time gig. That's what I do. I work hard at it.
Yeah.
Happy to be here on the Shawn Will Be Here podcast.
Yeah, that's what we're going with, because, you know, I've got the last name for it, you know, might as well make a pun out of it, right? And so, essentially, I'm also a comedian, we know that. I've worked on your shows. I got the lucky chance to be there filling in for
This guy was in the Crumbley Cup.
The Crumbley Cup, the most important comedy award in all of Northwest Ohio. Some would say the universe.
I would say intergalactically. On an intergalactic level, Crumbley Cup.
Some would say Thanos is going to come to this universe and kill us for the Crumbley Cup.
Thanos is not powerful enough to take down the Crumbley Cup. When
Galactus?
you're going against people like the Grizz, you're going up against Sammy Audeby, Eddie McCarthy,
Lori
Emily
Lynn.
Garrow. You're not taking down Crumbley Cup winners. The Crumbley Cup winners would unite like the Planeteers. And
Just
they
even
would be
the
able to take them down.
contestants, like the B string, you know, the contestants. They're not B string by any means, but like any one of us that have competed in the Crumbley Cup would be like Thanos, Get out of here.
Yeah, they got no shot at it.
No shot. It'd be like Unbelievable Squirrel Girl up in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know comic books at all, actually. So these references don't. People
Yeah.
assume that, especially when I wore glasses and I was much fatter.
Yeah.
People would try to just like, especially the comedians, would always try to like just
Gotcha.
do conversation.
So let me.
and they would be like, Dave, what do you think about the new Captain America? And
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I don't watch that shit.
Yeah,
I watch wrestling and baseball.
Exactly. I was about to put the reference in.
I watch guy stuff.
We had a wrestler on last week, actually, to put it in a way you'd understand.
Was it the big dog Roman Reigns?
No, we had.
Big fan of that. CM Punk?
No, we had the big dog Paris McQueen.
Charlotte Flair. Okay, Paris, she's good too. Paris McQueen's good too.
Yeah. So, but, to put it in a way you'd understand, it's, the Crumbley Cup is the big gold belt. It's Triple H's reign of terror, right? Everyone wants it.
No, we're more like a Jeff Jarrett in TNA, Reign of Terror.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're after. We're Planet Crumbley. I got the alpha male Monty Brown. I got I actually don't remember who else was in Planet Jarrett. That was a long time ago. I'm getting old.
Dude, I can't remember shit from TNA outside of Aces and Eights and that one Steiner Math promo, man. That's it. That's all
I went to the Impact Zone one time.
Dude.
It's sick. It's actually the best setup for wrestling ever. It's so much fun. Just this little tiny soundstage at Universal Studios. Seats, I don't know, maybe 700. On TV, it looked big.
Right.
But there, it was just perfectly laid out for wrestling. You were so close to it. It was free. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, it was awesome.
Before we get too far into the wrestling fandom stuff, because trust me, I know me and you...
I'll jump right into it, dude. You know me.
Me and you, we could spend this whole fucking podcast talking about...
That's the autistic spitfire in my brain. Yeah.
Me and you could, shout out to the autistic spitfire, Austin, I think his name is.
Austin Gunn.
Austin Gunn.
The autistic spitfire, Austin Gunn.
Yeah, that's what he called himself when I met him.
Yeah.
So, shout out to him as well. But, we could talk wrestling all day. We're huge fans of it. But we had a wrestler on last week. You're a comedian.
Yeah.
We should talk shop about comedy.
I guess we could do that.
Yeah, that's what you're here for, right?
Yeah.
For the comedians to talk about comedy.
Yeah.
All right. So, how'd you decide that we're going to be, this is a very narcissistic career that we've chosen for ourselves, right? We've decided that we're important enough that people need to hear what we have to say for anywhere from 5 minutes to however long the venue host lets us talk, right? How did you decide in your head, hey, maybe I should tell jokes for a living?
I see it as the opposite.
Really?
At least for the way that I present things. I don't see it as a narcissistic thing. I think we're doing public service.
Oh, okay.
So I present.
So the audience is lucky to hear you speak.
They are, because when we bring these shows that I bring out, this isn't I'm not setting out some piece of paper and letting a bunch of loser randos. The first people to get to the piece of paper, the first person to get to a piece of paper gets to no, it's these are curated. Everyone on this has some degree of aptitude for it.
Right.
There might be 1 or 2 first timers, but these are the majority of my shows are these are all pretty skilled, talented people. Last night at Home Slice Pizza, this is a free event.
Of course, I've been to Home Slice. Love Home
You
Slice.
don't. We love for you to buy stuff. They want you to buy. You don't have. It's a free show.
Yeah, 100%. If you go to Home Slice, recommend their mashed potato pizza.
You got to get the potato pizza. Make sure you get the sour cream on the side and reference it twice because they might not give it to you the first time you ask. Make sure you get it. But it's so good. Home Slice is so good. But these are free shows. Last night at Home Slice, we had 18 comedians go up, 18 sets.
And that's a lot.
Maybe 2 were bad.
Yeah.
So you got an hour and a half of free, really good entertainment. I think we're providing service for the people.
Well, that's you as the promoter, Dave Crumbley, providing a service to the people, right? And you're also providing a service to the comedians to give them the platform, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about you as an individual. What put you on the path to be funny man, Dave Crumbley? What was your aha moment of I saw, for me it's back in the day, Christopher Titus, Bo Burnham, Hell, he's not as funny to me now, but even like Jeff Dunham, you know, I think I knew back then when I was a kid watching that stuff that I wanted to, like, you know, George Carlin, obviously, right? What was your aha moment? Were you like watching a comedy special and were like, I can do that, or like were you telling jokes with friends?
Well, like as a kid, I was always the one. I'm more like a teen, I guess, but I was always kind of the funny one in the group. People were like, Dave, you should be a comedian. You should be a comedian. You should be a stand-up comedian. But I literally didn't know that you could be a stand-up comedian here. I thought you had to live in New York or Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
I literally, I didn't know the concept of like the Funny Bone.
Yeah.
It's like a local comedy club. I just never pursued it or thought about it. It was just, that's a thing that doesn't exist here. It's a thing I watch on television.
Yeah.
And then they opened up a comedy club down the street from my house. It was this place called Laughs Inc. in Toledo. It was
incredible name.
Yeah, I was open for maybe like a year and a half, but it was like within walking distance of my house. I walked there, right next door to my place, and I went to the open mic, and I was just so blown away. And like some people were good and some were bad. That's what open mic is generally, but like I was just blown away by the idea that like a normal person could just do it.
Oh yeah.
You could work at UPS. Or you could work at the bank, or you could work at Subway, and just you could go on stage and talk. It was accessible to you.
That they just let any motherfucker do it.
I just had no idea that you were allowed. I thought you had to go to like comedy university or something.
Yeah.
I just never really thought about it. And I was like, wow, I could do it. And then I started showing up. The first ever open mic I showed up to at Laughs Inc. Mark Phillip was there.
Yep.
Jacob Barr was there. So, like,
Jacob
they've
Barr.
existed to me for as long as stand-up comedy has existed to me as a concept.
Yeah.
Like, they were there the first night.
For me, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this or if we've spoken about this. The way I got into stand-up comedy was a buddy of mine told me about the Summit Shack here in town.
Yes.
The people who run Fox, we can't call them Foxella anymore. I might have to bleep that part out because they got sued by AEG. 100%. Fuck the actual Cella. I don't care. We're the real one, right?
They're no Cella, dude.
Yeah, like Coach. That's where you
no
sit,
no
buddy.
no Chilla. That's what
Yeah.
they've got.
They got no chill. But Connor Allen, all of them.
Super cool, yeah, super cool. That's
super
the best.
cool
Great
group.
events.
Yeah.
They're so good at running events.
And Summit Shack is normally known for doing music, right? Like DIY punk scenes, etc. But they used to, back when they were still a house show venue, run some comedy shows every now and then. And the first one that I went to, right, because I got introduced to it as like I was told it was a house party. And then I showed up and I was like, oh no, this is a house show. I should probably ditch my two friends who are getting drunk.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't have to deal with that stigma. And I ended up smoking weed with a bunch of the punk people and whatever, and got told about the comedy show. And I was like, hey, maybe I should bring my little journal of comedy jokes and whatever with me, right? And talk with some of the comedians, be like, I've been writing for years, but I didn't know how to do this. Like, what's the path or whatever? And I've talked to him about it now, so I hope he doesn't mind me bringing this up. But Eric Lau, I think is his name, from Ann Arbor, was on the show, and I told him some of my jokes, and I think he was trying to like cushion the blow for me or whatever, or just didn't see what I was seeing in myself. Because after he heard my jokes, he did tell me that I was not relatable enough to be funny, and that my jokes seemed a little too insane, like gallows humor for the psych ward, right? And then he left, and then I saw the headliner was Mark Phillip. Mark Phillip ended up telling a joke about going to the psych ward and like an ex-girlfriend he had, and it was kind of the type of thing that my mother would clutch her own pearls at, but everyone in the room was laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the guy I should be talking to about comedy, right? And I asked Mark Phillip, and he was hosting Grumpy Dave's at the time, and he was like, oh, Eric said that? Show up on Tuesday, we got you. And I've been doing it ever since.
Fuck you, Eric Lau.
Yeah.
You thought you could hold down Shawn Will? You think you're the king? Fuck you.
No, I love you. You can come on the podcast. You know, listen.
You're banned from Crumbley Comedy, Eric.
No. Listen, I've shaken his hand. I've laughed it off with him. You know, we did a show at Brewing Green.
Mark Eric's the man. Eric's incredible.
Eric's cool and whatever. I think he was just trying to, like, I don't know, like, let me down easy, like, save my hurt or whatever. Because at that point, like, I was worse at it than I am now, and I'm barely decent at it now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even make it past round 1 of the Crumbley Cup.
A lot of killers got knocked out the first round of the Crumbley Cup.
I've got to ask about the Crumbley Cup, because I will be splicing some of that footage in here as well. Grace, I don't think she had a last name that she performed under.
Yes.
But she just went by Grace. She made a joke that I will cut in here.
There are 3 kinds of liquids that can come out of me. And I don't know which one's going to come out right now. Also, I want to say, Dave, what a way to kill DEI, putting the only 2 Asians against each other.
History that you understand. We don't need to. Is so hard thinking history. Our next performer puts up history all the time. Put your hands together for the fabulous Miss Diva May.
Okay, I was over there with them gays and them days for about 3 fucking hours, fucking around these hills, and I was twerking and shit. Y'all know it's my favorite dance. You know, I like twerking because nobody expect me to know how to do it. So whenever I start doing it, it's like a surprise. You know, like diarrhea. You know, you just didn't see that shit coming. You know, but I'll fuck a pair of drawers up. I ain't gonna hold them. I got holes in them right now. I was busting shots over them. Cause y'all see all this ass. Okay, Shaq, get a good look over here. Y'all see all this ass? You see it up here in the yellow. I see you. I know you looking at it. But I'm asking them, don't ask me for no motherfucking pussy. I ain't giving none out. How many more seconds I got? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was the DEI joke.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, I can't tell you how, like, me personally, I was so happy to see how diverse of a show you would put on at the Crumbley Cup.
Yeah.
And, you know, she had made that DEI joke about you not giving the opportunities or killing DEI, putting people against people.
Yeah.
But I gotta ask, like, when you book shows, is that, like, just a happy accident?
It's at the top of my mind. It
Top of your mind.
is actually like an active thing that I seek out. Even for these open mics, part of the reason why these are like curated, it's booked, I have a Google form, which some people get pissy about that stuff. But I like it because it means that when you come to Crumbley Comedy, like at Home Slice last night, it was a great show. It would not have been as good if it was 18 white people in a row.
Yeah.
18 white guys who kind of look the same, dress the same aesthetic, similar mindset. So, but I put these lineups together, it's literally, we need black people, we need white people, old people, young people, men, women. It has to be that way. And then if I look at the lineup and I don't have enough, we go through and we find more to make it work. So that's an intentional part of the sauce.
And do you try to do that with ideology too? Like if you can get a little bit of like left, a little bit of right without going too far one way or the other.
For a book show, like if I'm doing a ticketed showcase, that's something I consider. For the open mic, it's too much to think about.
Free for all.
So I figure like, all right, if they're old, they'll talk about something relevant to old people But like I'm trying to make I'm not trying to make white people comedy night or black people comedy night or old people comedy night or young people comedy night.
I don't even think you're going for mixed people comedy night. You're just going for comedy.
I want like this a mainstream event.
Yeah.
There's just a mainstream community event that anyone can come and enjoy. And like, if you're having dinner with your mom and you're on Facebook looking for a community event and you happen upon our thing and you bring your mom, she's not going to be like cringing through the whole thing, or like it's not going to like gross her out. Like the show is for your average human being.
I remember my mom was really impressed by Hannah Osborne yesterday at the Crumbley.
Yeah,
Club.
she's like a pro comedian. Like she's at Funny Bone all the time. She's booked in the clubs. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to look at the last name for a second there because I remembered her first name, but I didn't remember the last name. My mom was very specific about her being funny, and that's like amazing that my mom found comedians at a show that she thought was funny, because like
to remember it after the fact when she saw 32 of them.
Exactly.
They go
right?
boom, 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 boom.
Right.
Yeah.
And because my mom was had a long day, had love you mom, was tired and everything, right? So like this could have been the type of show that very much if there weren't funny people, she probably would have left halfway through.
Yeah.
Right? If she was in my ride. But there was funny enough people that like she had comments all the way home about how like this person did good, that person did good. She remembered, even the people that she wasn't the biggest fan of, they stuck out to her. And that does a lot for your curation skills, right? Because strong opinions are a good thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just people remembering what's going on. Yeah, so when you pay for a ticket to a Crumbley comedy show, this isn't the deal where like we're charging money for open mic.
Yeah.
It's open mic, but it costs money and it's 3 times as long.
No.
Like when you pay money for Crumbley comedy, you're getting like a professional show that has a cool theme to it with comedians who are like grinding out at open mics to come and prepare for this show.
Yeah.
So you're getting like a hot 90 minutes. You're getting a great hour and a half.
As professional as we can get in the venues that we have, right? Because I don't want anyone to walk in and think that like when they walk into Home Slice Pizza it's going to be like the Stranahan or whatever. Like we're doing a full-on comedy special thing.
No, I mean, but we're putting on like I consider these shows professional.
Oh,
I
yeah.
consider everything that
they
I
are.
do is like a professional exhibition.
I wouldn't call them amateur in
stand-up.
any way, shape, or form.
They are. It's a smaller scale.
Yeah.
You're in the top floor of a pizza parlor,
Oh yeah.
but like you get a really good show with comedians who put a lot of thought into this and a lot of heart and grind into it.
But like it's if you want to see professional comedy at a bar, you know what I mean? Like if you're just in Toledo at any bar downtown and Crumbley comedy is going to be there, it's a hot ticket, right? So moving on from plugging you too much, right? I gotta ask, what is your process? Like how does Dave Crumbley find the funny in something? Like when does a joke start formulating? Like how do you make that work?
Generally so it's like now so much of my focus is on the promotion and curation, all that stuff, that I barely consider myself a comedian anymore, honestly. But when I was really grinding...
I gotta change the sign!
Dave Crumbley.
Promoter.
Yeah, former comedian Dave Crumbley. We can add that in post, right?
Yeah, I've gotta now I've gotta do like a digital, CGI.
We'll get Pixar in here to handle that.
I'll open Blender, we'll get it working.
But when I was like doing stand-up, grinding a lot, just something would happen in real life, and then I would think that would be funny, and then I would think about, okay, like how do I make it funnier? How do I add a spin to it? How do I exaggerate it? How do I blow it up, turn the volume up to it on 11, and then that's what you present on stage. Like just telling a factual event on stage, unless you're just like a great storyteller, which I'm not. Storytelling is very difficult. Most people are not good storytellers. But like you add a little razzmatazz to it, like
yeah. A little bit of heightened reality, right?
Yes.
I can't say my process is much different other than like, for me, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I struggle writing my jokes a bit more than other comedians do. But that's because a lot of the time when I think of something funny, I have to ask myself, is that actually funny? Or is that sad as fuck? And when I tell everyone in a crowd full of people about what I think is funny, will they just be like, "Oh, are you okay?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have some of that, because I have the schizophrenia and all that. It's harder for me to talk about some of my life experiences without at least being somewhat aware that there are going to be people in the audience who are resistant to laughing at it because it might, they don't want to laugh at me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're also trained to be sensitive to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so hard when sometimes, I know sometimes I will have a set where I come off stage and nobody laughed at me. And people will be like, "You were funny." And I'm like, "Yeah, but nobody wanted to fucking laugh because they felt sorry for me."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough needle to thread.
Yeah.
Because if you're too likable, they don't want to laugh at you because they feel bad. But you need to be likable.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then they'll be scared of the material.
Exactly.
So it's tough to balance. Yeah, I hear you.
Exactly. And I have, my appearance is, I would say, my biggest disability. That's a joke, obviously. But I've got, fucked up teeth. I've got, white trash heritage, right? So, my appearance definitely does, a lot of the time I'm working back from that, you know what I mean? Because people will see me and they'll instantly get an idea of what... Because I'll be honest with you, even at Toledo Brewing, which is, wonderful venue that we did...
Toledo Spirits.
Spirits.
Yeah. Toledo Spirits Company. Beautiful downtown Toledo.
Yes, I was thinking of Brewing Green and I got Toledo Spirits mixed up with that. But wonderful venue, loved performing in front of the Miss Pac-Man machine and everything. But, I did make the little comment that I might clip in at some point about how there was multiple comedians who had made, bearded comedians who had made jokes about queefing and I didn't want to be a third. Because it's I do kind of look like a lot of the stereotypical guy in comedy right now.
Yeah.
You put a beard on Shane Gillis, we probably look alike.
You do kind of look like Theo Von Halloween costume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I'm not, confused by that in any way of what people think of me or whatever. You looking at my cat behind me or something? I saw your eyes drifted for a second.
No, I'm just, I'm vibing.
Yeah, I thought my cat jumped up behind me or something. So she likes to sneak in on the podcast sometimes. So how do you, when you're writing though, the writing process, do you write or do you keep a notebook or do you have spreadsheets, have a little napkin you write on it?
I tried to write, I've tried to sit down with a notebook and it's nothing ever comes out. I can sit in a notebook for eternity. I can sit in front of my laptop at one point I bought this thing called a free write.
Yeah.
Which is Kindle but for writing. So it's there's no distractions. It's just a little mini keyboard. I can't fuck around on the internet. I can't start playing games or arguing on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
And even that, I returned it because I could not make myself write. I come up with ideas, I put them in my phone notes, and then I go on stage with bullet points, and I write on stage.
Got you.
So I kind of try to riff it out on stage and see what I can get out of it.
Yeah.
See if I can formulate some funny thoughts out of it. I was better at it when I was a regular stand-up because I was doing stand-up a lot more. Now when I go up, my set is about... Just establishing the tone, giving the rules,
exactly.
Making sure there's momentum, and I have to make sure that as a host, my material cannot be offensive at all.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to upset, before we've even started, I'm not trying to upset people.
Yeah, you're trying to be the Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, and I don't want to go up there and talk about, super blue stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you start, if the host is out there talking about, eating cum, it's where does the rest of the show go?
Right, yeah. Or
where can you go from here? It's AEW with these 17-hour pay-per-views. In the first match, they're bleeding and going through 15 tables. By the time midnight rolls around and we're doing the main event, I'm tired.
Second guest on this show who is not an AEW fan.
Tired.
One of these weeks, I'm gonna get somebody in that chair who likes AEW. I swear.
Yeah, you should email Tony Khan.
I'll email Tony Khan. I'm like, send me Hangman. I've had 2 weeks in a row where somebody is like, I'm not the biggest fan.
You might be able to get the Young Bucks. I saw the Young Bucks on some YouTube podcast, and it had 400 views.
Considering
so they'll do whatever, I think.
Yeah. considering I'm only getting like Northwest Ohio people on the show right now, I'll be lucky if Scott The Woz is on the podcast.
I would love to. But if Scott The Woz is watching, I would love to have you judge the Crumbley Cup. December 11th at the Funny Bone. We have 32 women competing head to head. Scott The Woz, come out, come help me out. We'll play Wii U together. I'll bring my Wii U, and we can play Nintendo Land.
I'll bring my copy of Scott The Woz Monopoly, and you can sign it.
Is that a real item?
Yeah, I'm not shitting you. We will take photos with it.
Yeah.
I can post it.
That's
in the
that's a
podcast.
crazy thing to manufacture.
Yeah, he did it for charity. So like,
I have Seinfeld Monopoly.
Oh yeah. We 100%. Me and my roommate did it as a joke because he, on his way to work every day, he drives past a Burger King that Scott The Woz has filmed outside of a couple of times.
Yeah.
So we now joke that is specifically the Scott The Woz Burger King.
Nice.
So like,
Did you ever go to the Scott The Woz GameStop?
yeah.
The classic.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Anywhere he goes, like I remember,
That's nice.
I went and saw Josh Johnson with my mom back in August, and before the show, we were driving around, just walking and browsing stores and whatever, and we went to a Replay that's right next to a Chirilla's, and I was like, oh shit, this wasn't a Scott The Woz video, and I'm like, oh, it's the Scott The Woz Chirilla's and Replay store. You know, it's like that.
You could do like a Scott The Woz walking tour.
Yeah,
Where you
yeah.
show everyone the sites.
And then we end at his house, and he tells me, "Leave me alone."
Yeah. You start breaking.
I don't know you people, right? But that's what you get for being from Toledo, right? Because Toledo's a great city, especially for comedy. I find. What would you say? Are there challenges unique to running shows in Toledo, or is it like more of a? Is it easier to do because there's so many venues that you could work out of?
Well, it's a mix because Toledo has historically actually not been a great place for stand-up. Especially bar shows, there just wasn't a lot established. So I've kind of had to establish this whole new concept for people of like, if you come to a bar, just like comedy bar show in general, and then comedy bar show will be good. So that's difficult to establish, and we're doing that now. We're doing that pretty successfully. But the good part of it is that there really wasn't anyone doing it on that high of a level before me.
Gotcha.
So like you're walking into a market where like, okay, I'm going to take this very seriously. I'm going to try to stay on top of this stuff.
Yeah.
We have, and it's a big market. There, the Toledo metropolitan area is about 300,000 people.
Oh yeah.
Like that's
and it's not even just that, because if you think about it, there are so many people who come to Toledo from the outside area. Like there are people from BG who would rather go party in Toledo for the night than drink here sometimes.
And for stand up is a very like low wattage event where like if we have 50 people in a room, that's successful. That's really good. And the venue's happy with that. They made money. Promoter made money. Like this was successful.
Yeah.
So like, can we get 50 people in a room every night with this? Yeah, I think we can. And yeah, that's been... I don't know if I answered your question. I just kind of rambled there for a while.
Well, I was mostly just asking how doing comedy in Toledo works. And
okay, I think I answered it.
Yeah, you answered it pretty well.
Crushed.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park, ball game. But, establishing the comedy shows, like becoming a promoter yourself, right? How does that go about working? Because I'm not going to lie to you. Ever since I found out that Grumpy Dave's here in town, love you Grumpy Dave's, was moving from a weekly comedy showcase of an open mic to just a monthly comedy showcase where it's like not open anymore and it's more pre-selected, more curated, which, I'm not against at all, right? Because, venues do what they want to do, and if that's what the direction they prefer to be in, that's fine. It does, though, for me, I miss having the low stakes venue of this is just a show for people who are like breaking in, or like, the entry level type of show, or just a show for comedians who have worked regularly to go to and just try their jokes that they don't even know are ready yet. You know what I mean? Like just to get their stuff ready. Not having that as a thing weekly anymore, especially in the BG area, has not been easy. It's part of the reason why I've been so aggressive about the podcasting and all that. And I've asked a couple of venues about hosting shows and whatever, it's kind of hard to approach a business and be like, hey, I know you don't know me, but I do this funny thing. Can I use your venue to, like, have a bunch of, you know, possibly hacks do
Who could come up and say whatever.
Exactly.
Who could literally just say the N-word until I was able to get to the soundboard.
Yeah. But that's
with
the
no
risk.
vetting.
How do you get venue owners, like the owners of these bars? How do you convince them to, like, take you seriously?
I don't. The answer for that is I go out of my way to let them know that that's not what I'm selling them.
Yeah.
My stuff is curated. It's pro. It's like all of these. It's thought put into it.
Right.
But to just.
To get them to trust you in general, though, even if it's not an open mic, you know, I'm sure that takes a huge leap of faith for them because, you know, they're giving your support in anyone that you put up there, right?
Yeah.
So if you, like, if you, as Dave Crumbley, trust one, like, any given night, say you have 12 comedians, one of those comedians goes out there and says, like, you know, something that's politically aggressive, or they're like something that's just bigoted, or there's something that's just weird, that's on you because you let him go up there.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, how do you deal with that? How do you, like, manage that level of trust with a bar owner?
I'm just like, first off, I'm proactive. So, like, when we do our list, when I put out the printed list of all the comedians, on top of this thing, I'm like, hey, do not use the F word for gay people.
Right, obviously.
Just don't do it. Don't, you know, a Charlie Kirk just got shot, and I'm like, regardless of politics, I do not care. I'm not even commenting on that level. Yeah. But, like, a guy just got assassinated in public.
I don't need to hear your type 5 about
open micers going up and talking about it. So when stuff like that happens, when somebody tried to shoot Trump, the next day we're at a show at, like, just like some bar with a giant American flag as the backdrop.
Yeah,
And I'm like, guys, let's just not talk about this. So
right, it's like, you don't want to be the guy in the bar down the street from 9/11 making jokes about 9/11 the day after it happened.
Right, exactly. And a lot of the comedians, I love all the comedians, a lot of them do not have any fucking common sense. They just don't. So you have to, like, explain to them, don't.
Yeah.
Do not do this.
It's incredible how I've been doing this for 6 years, and it's incredible how you would think where our entire job is to read the room, and you kind of learn that, like, everyone reads at a different reading level when it comes to reading the room.
Yeah. So sometimes you have to, like, and I think that's part of being, that's part of leadership.
Yeah.
Is being like, hey, don't do this stuff because you might get the show canceled.
Yeah.
And it's, like, important to this. So I explain this stuff to venues, and there's consequences for that stuff. Like, if somebody had gone on stage the night after Charlie Kirk got shot and told a bunch of Charlie Kirk jokes, they would never be back.
No.
I would never bring them back.
Whether
So,
it
like,
was
there
in
are-
support or they were making fun of like the guy for doing it, it doesn't matter.
It's like, yeah, just we don't. I said don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Just don't. So yeah, that's just being proactive on those things. And if there is a blip, ownership knows. It's like, okay, Dave is on top of this stuff. He'll handle it. But also I have track record. So, like, I've been doing this for years. It's only been kind of my full-time gig for about a year and a half. But I've run events for a long time. I can show gates. I can pull out my Eventbrite and be like, hey, we sold this 3 years ago. I went to Portugal. Here's a video of this stuff. I've spent over the years thousands of dollars on, like, videographers and photographers to document this stuff. So when it comes time to, like, get new venues, we have stuff that we could show the venue. This is Crumbley Comedy. These are the crowds that we've drawn. This is 105 people at Ernest Brewworks on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
This is 270 people at the Funny Bone. Like, it's real.
It's the autism, and that's why he has the numbers in there, guys.
This stuff isn't, like, hypothetical, or we could do this, or we're thinking about it. It's like,
no, here's the projection.
This is physical. It's happened. Like,
this is, you know, back to AEW. This is Tony Khan at the Jericho Kenny Omega match, realizing no, there's real business numbers here.
Yeah. Until he fired CM Punk, and then there weren't numbers anymore.
There
were numbers for a while.
Yeah, let's not get into the whole. Listen, I'm making a cartoon. You know I'm making a cartoon, right? I already have criticism enough that's going to be in that satire.
You're criticizing CM Punk in your animated cartoon?
Went
free in the AEW fan base's head.
No,
oh my God.
It's not even just
Oh my God.
Mark Phillip is literally playing, the guy who introduced me to comedy and the
Yeah.
friend that we were mentioning earlier, is literally playing a caricature of Vince McMahon in the show, who has like a TV for a head and like a skull and everything.
Yeah.
On the screen, so it's like.
Has Mark Phillip ever watched wrestling? I would love to get his take
Oh my
on
God.
it. I would love for Mark Phillip to watch a Monday Night Raw and talk about it one week.
I don't know if he has watched it, but
I can't imagine he has. I just can't picture it.
I'll have to get him on the podcast at some point because now I've mentioned him so much. But like, legitimately, it was so fun to work with him for voice acting. Like, I've worked with a few people so far for voice acting. Patrick Pope has worked with me. Mark Bland worked with me for voice acting as well. John Ruggiero is going to be here to do some voice acting for me as well. I'm going to try and get you casted.
Yeah.
I talked with you about it.
Yeah.
I don't have your character fully drawn yet, but once I do, we'll get it working. But it was interesting because, I told Mark pretty much the basics, right? And there was this point where in the show, this giant monster attacks a wrestling show that he's hosting, and he's hiding under the ring, and he's calling like the people to come take care of the monster, and he tells them to like, wait a minute, because the more people that the monster eats, the more they go up in the Nielsen ratings, right? And then he realizes, oh, it ate a kid. That's bad for the ratings. Get down here. And then Mark just improvised this. He goes, Snickers is gonna get pissed and pull the ads. And if you know, like we do, about how that works, that's literally the real life thing. That's what happens in real life.
Mae Young Battle Royal.
Mae Young Battle Royal. That's Vince McMahon getting outed as a sex pest the week of the Royal Rumble, and then Snickers being like, "We're gonna pull our ads," and then be like, "But what if The Rock replaced them on the board?
Mm-hmm.
What
and
if
then we're back?
We're back.
We're back. We're so back."
Yeah, it's like, what if we replaced the sex trafficker allegedly with, The Rock? Hey, won't that be great, Snickers?
Yeah. Let's get the biggest box office star in the world in there instead.
Yeah.
Pretty good trade, yeah.
Yeah. And, he'll just start acting like a mafioso on screen. Like the Samoan Mafia will just take everything. But, yeah, no, 100%, like, a big patron of the show, Glitch Hunters, which I haven't talked much here on the podcast, because it takes so fucking long to animate. I was literally at Home Slice last week and saw Patrick, and I mentioned to somebody that Patrick was in the show, and then I was animating his character, and Patrick being the asshole we love him for, was just like, oh, that was like a year ago. It's like, motherfucker, I am 3D modeling your character. Do you know how long it takes to rotoscope something that you had to 3D model?
Because it takes like a year to make an episode of Family Guy, right? And that's with like a whole team of like Koreans doing stuff and computers.
They literally outsource the animation to Korea, because if you were trying to get a full team of animators to animate something fast, here, it would be beyond expensive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It would be Avatar to make a season of Family Guy.
Yeah. That's why it's like AI is so scary, because it's like, it's coming for all of our jobs, right? Me, you, we're going to get replaced.
That's the thing, it's not coming from my job. So I'm kind of excited by AI.
Really?
Yeah, because like, you can't, they're always going to need, nobody's going to go see robot comedy live. No one's going to go see an android performance live. People are going to want
entertainers. I think Hatsune Miku would like to disagree with you. Gorillas and Hatsune Miku would disagree with you.
They're not comedians.
No, but I think the concept in its, like, oh god, who was that?
Music has a lot more production, though, is the thing. So if you go see a music performance like that. It's not about, even like Taylor Swift. I think, honestly, for music, Taylor Swift should actually be a little nervous because so much of their thing is like the presentation is the pageantry, the lights and the lasers and honestly having an Android might make it more interesting because they can do like crazier dances that real people can't do and stuff.
Right,
because stand-up comedy is very stripped down. It's a person talking. To make it robots would be, I think, would make it too expensive. It would be more reasonable to just have a guy do it.
So you're not a big fan? Oh God, I forget that one comedian's name. But have you ever seen that comedian who like got dressed up in a silver suit? Very old clip, and he's like, "I am comedian bot 3000."
Nah, I don't believe so.
No, okay, I'll have to cut in a fucking video of that now to reference it or whatever. I'm going to do more editing on this episode than I have on other episodes, and I hate myself for that now.
Well, this is going to be the highest rated episode of all time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Right.
So it should get the
Sex Magnet
the
Dave
most
Crumbley.
production. Yeah. Drawing ratings and selling toys.
Exactly. What kind of toys are we selling? What would the Dave Crumbley toy be? Like, what would your action figure come with?
The Dave Crumbley Ultimate by Mattel. It would come with 3 heads.
3 heads.
3 heads. It would come with the trophy, the Crumbley Cup would be the insert.
Hell yeah.
It would come with like the left leg for like a Kathy Kelly Build-A-Figure. So
that's funny.
Yeah, the Dave Crumbley Ultimate. That's coming soon.
But, you know, on a more serious matter, it can't all just be fun and games, right? It can't all just be yuckles and whatever. We got to ask at some point, you know, people say, oh, so you're a comedian. That's what you do for a living? And I have to somewhat go, I do it, and I'm living, but is it making my living? Not always, right? How are you doing, Dave Crumbley? Like, how does... you know, the struggling artist life handle Dave Crumbley? Like, are you able to make it by, or like, how are you doing?
I mean, for a guy living in Toledo, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I make less than the bartenders who bartend the show.
No.
So, like...
Yeah. If there's one thing I can recommend to anyone who's watched any of these episodes, if you have a dream and you want to do an artistic, entertaining career, all 3 of these episodes to tell you it's going to be struggle.
Have wealthy parents.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. If you have wealthy parents, if you can marry somebody with some money.
Get born rich, you know.
Those things help artists a lot. That's the whole thing. People complain about, like, Nepo baby and all that. And it's valid. I get why people are upset, but, like, who else can dedicate their entire life toward pursuing an art? Like, pretty much all of the top comedians in New York are Nepo babies.
Yeah.
Not necessarily they're like, my dad was, you know, I'm Benjamin Seinfeld, and not like that, but like their dads were finance people or whatever. But like, how else do you have the time to dedicate?
Or they just know somebody.
How do you dedicate all of your time to a thing that pays no money and live unless you have? And you have to dedicate, with stand-up, you have to dedicate this time to get good at it.
Oh, yeah.
Stand-up's a thing you have to do a lot. Yeah. Comedians in New York who are trying to be like, I'm trying to be a professional comedian. They're doing like 20 sets a week. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not an exaggeration. Like, their mics start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You time the train right, you can do 6 or 7 in a day. Yeah. So, like, they're going all the time. How can you do that and live unless you have mommy and dad? Just to be real.
Or you're just, you know, struggle busing it, right?
But everything's so expensive now. It's like, to live in a city like that, I just don't see.
Vote
honestly,
Mom Donnie.
I think Toledo. If Eric Adams' campaign is watching this, please give me some money.
I'm joking.
I'll do videos. I'll do videos for you. I think you're very funny.
There's no political endorsements actually happening on the show.
I think that Toledo is actually kind of exciting because it is still, I mean, things are getting more expensive as they are everywhere, but like, it's one of the last places in America, I think, that's like a legitimate city that you can work 25 hours a week at a coffee shop or whatever and have enough money to live a simple little life. Have an apartment, have a little car,
Oh yeah.
and live in like a city. There's stuff going on.
Yeah.
There's buildings. There's regular events. We got baseball, hockey,
It's
concerts.
It's really amazing to me because I grew up on the south side of Toledo, right? And it's really amazing to me how, like, in my lifetime, Toledo went from, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's glamorous by any means, shape, or form, right? Because anyone who's lived in any city knows every urban area has its problems, right? Every city has a seedy underbelly, and I'm not saying we're perfect by any means. I haven't seen it in a while. That's all I'm saying. Because lately, they've done so much beautification of the city, right? Like all the big murals, right? You drive across the bridge and then you see like the flowers on the silos and everything. You see just like random buildings you drive past have like Black history on it, just everywhere. Hell, you drive past the Green Lantern Cafe, it's got the Green Lantern on it, right? Because the guy came up with that idea at the restaurant, right? And that's our history. That's Toledo's history, right? So it's definitely, how do I put this? Where was I going with this? It's a city that's on the up, I think. You know what I mean? It's like
I've lived in Toledo for 20 years. I came to Toledo 20 years ago. When I got to Toledo, shithole.
Yeah.
Open air sewer. Just like a giant downtown was just a giant soup kitchen.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't work for the government or were there to like renew your food stamps, there were no reason to be downtown. You had no legitimate reason to be downtown.
The only reason I was ever downtown was because I had a charter school, a shady charter school.
Yeah.
Because we had plenty of those that was downtown, and we were like across the street from like a rehab place, and that was across the street from like a fucking what I want to say. COSI was back in the day when it was called Imagination Station now. But like, other than that, the only other reason I've ever been downtown was because like mud hens or something bad has happened and we have to go to like the courthouse or something.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we got a parking ticket, time to go downtown.
Yeah, if you had no positive reason to be downtown.
No.
But the evolution of downtown Toledo, the vision to create that, all of the money that's come in, every day something new is opening, someone has a new idea.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's exciting. And to be part of an entertainment company that is providing, like, we can provide really good programming now.
Yes.
This isn't like, oh, in 6 months we can, it's like, no, we can, in 3 weeks, we can get an event going from conception to marketing to doing it to seeing how it goes. And there's all these different spaces who want to try stuff. And if you have track record and experience and a vision and a plan, they'll work with you and give you budget and try to make something happen.
And I guess if that's the thing I'm getting at is that we're lucky that Toledo has such a long history of being dedicated to the arts. Like ever since back in the day, Mr. Libby donated the money to like get the museum started, right? Yeah. Like we have the Toledo Museum of Arts. We have the zoo, the Toledo Zoo. It's one of the best zoos in the country. Like we have the money in the city that it seems like we're not shy when it comes to showing the culture. You know what I mean? Like showing how great being in Toledo is.
And there's so much to unlock because we have all of these classic historical buildings that have just sat there forever. And as people start buying this up and they see the use case for like, okay, we can have these events and draw these people. And then something like Crumbley Comedy comes, there's a steady flow of events, not just what I do, but, music and poetry and whatever else is going on in Toledo. Steady flow of people. It's like, okay, it's worth it to renovate these cool spaces and bring them back as event spaces and do live stuff.
I mean, shoot, I remember, this was before I think you started up Crumbley Comedy, but I remember doing Ottawa Tavern. That was a great venue for comedy. And I thought it was very interesting because it had the mouth toilets, literally shaped like the Flaming Lips mouth. You pee into a mouth. It was weird. Mm-hmm. But then you have like other venues like Custom Bent Neon. That's another one you guys do comedy at.
Yep.
That I
September 27th, we're back there. The Bruns Boys are doing Dazzle House, an hour of sketch comedy.
Literally what I was about to bring up was the Bruns Brothers comedy show at the Custom Bent. Thank you. You saved me a step on my checklist. 100% I need to do comedy there. Because that is a venue that, like, it is, how do I put this? Like, there are certain venues like that where you see the photos coming out of them and you're like, oh, people look better on that stage. Like, if I see people performing there, that brings them a little bit more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue, a custom-bent neon. They're some of the most talented glass artists in the world. The things that they can make are beyond your conception. Without a computer, just this guy Corey, it's all in his head, and they start blowing and bending, and they make these incredible things. And we do a show down there in their art gallery, and it's lit exclusively by the neon. And we turn off all the lights, it's all neon, and the show's just in like this beautiful visual candy land.
And I've seen photos, I've seen some videos.
Come out and see the Bruns Boys. Take some vids at
I'm
27.
I'm gonna try. Trust me, I'm gonna try. So 100%, it's the type of thing I have to do because, you know, I'm a stoner. I love to pop a couple of gummies, take a rip or two of a weed pen, you know, and like absolutely laugh my ass off. In fact, when I write, that's what I do is I get really stoned, pop on a podcast in the background, and I try to write. But, you know, at comedy nights, there are people who drink. Some comedians, they're like, I can't really do my set well if I don't have like a drink or two, right? There are people who go up there and they're just raw dogging it chemically, you know what I mean? What about you, Dave Crumbley? Is there anything that you like to do? Do you have not even just drinking or smoking? Like, is there a ritual that Mr. Crumbley has before the big shows to get himself pumped up?
I need a beer ski.
Beer ski.
I need a beer. Well, I would very much. I don't need a beer ski. I would like a beer ski. Doing it sober is weird. Like all the way sober to me is, and maybe that's probably a weakness within me. It's probably not a positive thing. But going
up wouldn't be happy with
going
you.
up there. My straight edge here would be disgusted. But
poison your blood.
I feel like, and it's where it's just like, God, everybody's looking at me. It's too real. You have to like depersonalize it a little bit with exactly one Coors Light. Then I have that Coors Light, and I get strength, and it's like, all right, we can do this.
Well, you know, one of the things that right now the conversation online about comedy seems to be dominated by a naughty little 2-word phrase we call crowd work.
Yes.
How does Mr. Dave Crumbley feel about crowd work? Are you a fan of it, or when somebody starts going, what do you do? What do you do?
I like it when it's organic.
Yeah.
To me, the best crowd work is when a comedian goes up there and he's so funny and so relatable that some lady in the crowd says something and she doesn't mean to. She's not trying to heckle. It just comes out, and then the comedian is able to have other material in his grab bag that he can kind of tie into what she's, because that's what the real best crowd work is. When you watch that, they just have so much material that they're able to tie into what they're saying with material that already exists, but it feels like it's organic and in the moment and being come up with that second. That to me is magical. I hate. Are you two fucking? Just point at a table. It's like, are you two fucking?
Yeah.
Do you have a job? Especially at an open mic where some people are just there to eat pizza.
Yeah, a lot of
some people just show up, and at my shows, that's the minority. Most people are there for the show. They know it's a show. But some people are just there to eat pizza, and then all comedy. We'll stick around for this. But they're really not trying to like engage with you. And if you're not like very skilled, which open micers, if you're new to this, you're an open micer. So that's like for me, it was 3 full years before I said anything on stage that wasn't like, I didn't go up there kind of like pre-planned. Like, all right, I'm going to try to talk about this.
You know, I have a little joke I like to tell sometimes about open mics where I'll go up and I'll say like, all right, raise your hand if you didn't know there was a comedy show tonight, right? I'm sure it's not something unique to me, right? I'm sure other people have done it before where they point out like, oh, like the audience didn't know there was going to be a show. They were just here to drink.
Yeah.
Right. But I like to do it, and when people show that they didn't know they were just here to drink and, hey, free comedy, you know, I like to do the little thing where I'm like, hopefully that's the last hostage situation you'll ever be in. Right. Because, for some people, it can be kind of, you hate to be a comedian on an open mic and have somebody go before you who you can just tell is farming for clips, right?
Yeah.
And they drive half the audience out because of it. Because it's the type of thing to where it's like, some people don't, just because we have a camera in our face and we're like putting ourselves on a platform, doesn't mean that the audience wants us to do that to them all the time, right? And I find that a lot of people get crowd work confused with shutting down a heckler, right? Because Stephen Hofstetter, very almost called him awful, amazing, awesome comedian, very awesome at like shutting down hecklers, like, oh, you said this and blah blah, sit down, you don't even know what you're talking, like, that's not comedy, right? Just telling somebody to fuck off because they were rude to you is not comedy.
Yeah.
And trying to instigate that is not comedy, right? So, what would you say is like, have you ever had a moment with a heckler though, yourself, that has ever been notable, or like you were able to make a good joke out of it? Like, is there any good moments you've had that you've turned something from the audience into success?
The first time, I haven't really ever been heckled too badly in a negative sense. I had, this is notable. I was very new to stand. I was in a competition in East Toledo, just bombing on stage. And this old lady, I'm white, I'm all sweaty, I'm pale, I look like I'm gonna die. And this old lady just yells out from the crowd. She goes, "You're brave just for being up there." And I'm like, damn, that's not what I'm trying to hear right now. That's not. I'm trying to be like the man. I'm trying to be the entertainer.
Yeah.
You're brave.
Yeah. Dude, if there is one thing I can't stand, it is probably that. Whenever I get done with a set and people are like, "Oh, you're doing better than I would if I went up there," it's like that.
Yeah.
But you're not funny. I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. I'm gonna start saying that to like my shitty maintenance man who like he can't do this. Like you do paint this better than I could.
Yeah.
You actually did paint the ceiling better than I could.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to paint a ceiling.
Or like the worst is I love you people, but I've had people who will like remember jokes that I've done, and because they've seen me once or twice before.
Yeah.
And like they'll just happen to be that one person in the audience who knows that joke, and I'll see it in their face and whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know that joke," and it'll just like throw me the hell off because you just see them mouthing my own punchline back to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hate that. I've had people, I don't know if you've had this, they'll recognize you not by your name, but by your joke. So like, for example, I do my samurai sword joke. I've had people call me the samurai sword guy.
Yeah, I was gout for a while.
Yeah.
My classic gout material.
Yeah. You're the gout guy.
And the gout, the double G.
Yeah, right. I have a joke about how we got Monterey Jack cheese, and it's long, and I won't tell the whole thing. But TLDR, if you Google it, you will find out we got it through a historical event called the Rape of Monterey. So the joke is that type of cheese, any type of Jack cheese, is rape cheese. Two words, like I've been through a lot of awful shit, so I know that's a hard word to say.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, putting that awful word next to cheese, that's funny.
Come on, classic.
That's fun, right? And to just yell that phrase, that gets a laugh, right? But then I've had, literally, this has happened like 3 times, I have counted, where I have been at a store or in public and somebody has walked up to me and go, "You're the rape cheese guy." And I have to quickly be like, context, I'm not that into dairy, I swear. I don't do that to cheese.
Only as a friend.
Yeah. Only with consent. Like it's consensual non-consent, if anything. If anything, my body's going through the non-consent in the bathroom later. Because it's like, you can't just you can't just go, that's the rape cheese guy in public,
dude.
right?
No, it's tough.
You probably, like, the gout guy.
Yeah.
That has to be awful to get recognized that way.
Yeah.
But regardless, though, being a comedian, is there any, like, level of acclaim that you would like to get to? Like, is there any high-level aspirations?
I've
goals?
thought about this a lot, actually. This is my legitimate answer.
All right, we need to set the timer for another hour.
No,
I'm
Do you know those people on YouTube who make, like detractor videos about, like, YouTubers? Are you familiar with this world at all? Like, the
Detractor
takedown world?
videos?
Detractor.
Oh, detractor videos.
Yeah, like, somebody will, like, hate, like, a YouTuber.
I know
they
there's
make videos about these. They'll make like a 5-hour-long documentary about how some guy who does speed runs for Super Mario Galaxy is like a pedophile or something.
Yeah, you're talking about like the drama. You want
Dark Side Phil or something like that.
a Keemstar.
I want to get just popular enough to where people make like crazy videos about me on YouTube.
Yeah,
And like
Gotcha.
Dave Crumbley, Disruptor, and then
you're trying to get your own Ethan Klein type of hater.
Yeah, and then they have like a British AI voice, like read like text about me.
Yeah, you're trying to get like like the type of level that Hassan Piker or like iDubbbz has, where he is like Ethan Klein, Destiny, like all these people like just making whole podcasts about like Dave Crumbley is a bad guy.
That would be so great for engagement. Ethan Klein, start talking shit about me, please, please, Ethan Klein.
Yeah.
Please help me.
All you have to do is
help me, Hassan.
say something bad about the other, about the situation.
Destiny is gay. He's pedophile. I don't know. Did he do something bad?
Maybe there's
I don't know.
allegations. All of these YouTubers have allegations. All I know,
Allegations. They're all of them.
like,
It's so funny. It's such a funny world.
it is insane how like you toss a stone at an entertainer. They might not have.
Especially these people who like they live because they're not like because it's bad enough with like real entertainers, but at least like an actor, he was like he grew up kind of handsome and special. These YouTube people grew up on computer.
Yeah.
And now they just have like fame and fortune and people want their attention.
Yeah, it's
And
like
women are DMing them and stuff, so they have no idea how to behave.
I played Minecraft in my basement growing up, and I don't have millions of people like sending me photos that they should not send me.
Right, yeah. Yeah, like you go from living on computer to living on computer with fame.
Yeah, it's
Like this, and then they go insane pretty quickly, I would imagine.
it's like everything all of the time, like Bo Burnham said, right? It's like everything is at our disposal. So that being said, with everything being at our disposal, comedy, there are certain people that say nothing's ever off limits when it comes to comedy. We talked earlier about tragedies that have happened and how like we didn't want to make jokes about them, and we're still not because it's still a fresh wound and everything. But how long after something happens is it okay to start trying to find the funny?
I mean, that's a different question for everybody. For me, for my events, I'm not trying to test it. I'm trying to be real conservative with this stuff, small C conservative.
So no 9/11 jokes at Crumbley Cup.
No, I mean, people do 9/11 jokes at the 9/11 open mic at the Spirits, but I had a preempted thing before, and I was like, they have to be funny jokes.
Yeah.
I don't want you up here with slop. I don't want to hear 15 people be like, 9/11, go hook. But if you have a hot 9/11 joke, it was a long time ago, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, it's just like, I'm not trying to upset the audience.
You're trying to punch up, is what we talked about, right? In the business, I think that's the
I
term.
don't even really look at it like punch up, punch down. I look at it strictly, I'm looking at this stuff like, so I approach it economically and artistically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're both very similar because the goal is the same. Because to keep the artistic stuff, the economic stuff has to flow, and vice versa. So, like, if we put on a show where everybody gets up and just like, I speak my truth, and I'm doing First Amendment, and that's like stuff that upsets the audience, we don't have a show anymore.
Exactly.
And now those people have no venue to say anything.
Yeah.
Or the venues get smaller and worse, it declines. Because, like, the people that I work with, they care about the content.
Right.
Like Home Slice Pizza, Toledo Spirits, Third Street Cigar. We've got other venues that we're working with about
Funny
talking
Bone
to.
that you've worked
The
with.
Funny Bone, they care about, as we talked about it earlier, like, these things are being said in their bar, in a microphone, and it could reflect poorly on their business. So, yeah, it's a matter of protecting their business, and then they will help promote us and protect us, and we'll get a bigger platform.
We want to, because that's the whole thing with comedy, is that it for us, it's just fun. It's, you know, we're trying to make a life out of it. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to let other people have fun, escapism, and all that. For the venues, it's definitely more of a risk and reward, and we're trying to make sure that they understand that, like, them taking the risk of letting us use the First Amendment will not reflect badly on them, right? And risk and reward with comedy is a big thing in any way, right? Because even if your jokes aren't necessarily controversial, it's kind of always hard to tell. Like, you could have, like, jokes that you think are like, this one always gets a laugh, that one always gets a laugh, that one always gets a laugh, and then you just get into one room, or like maybe the person who went before you absolutely killed, and you just can't get the crowd back because now they're tired, right? And you get the death spot. So when it comes to risk and reward for comedy, how do you, like, book a show? How do you, like, line up comedians? Like, do you ever look at your lineups and you think, this one might bomb, so I'm going to put this one I know is going to be more solid afterwards?
Yeah, for sure. So, like, we have comedians who I know are ringers. Like, Miss Stephen A. is going to deliver every single time. J. Mike, Comedian Q, The Grizz, Eddie McCarthy, Emily Garrow. We've got this guy, Sammy Otterby, who won the Crumbley Cup.
Exactly.
He's only done stand-up 7 times, but he's a preacher.
Yeah.
And people who talk professionally get good at stand-up, like, real quick. So those people, I know that I can put someone weaker before them, because if they follow, they're going to bring the crowd back up.
Yeah.
You don't want 2 weaker performers in a row. That's very important. 10 bad minutes, people are kind of like, it's time to cash out. Let's go see. Yeah. Let's go watch football somewhere, you know.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's so funny because I'm not trying to have a theme here. I didn't do this on purpose, but I went from a drag queen to a wrestler and now to comedy. And it seems to be so far that, like, the through line seems to be about, like, performing yourself, performing your art, performing for, like, other people, right? Because there's this thing about, like, we all have the self, right? But we all have personas, you know what I mean? Like, when I'm at home and I'm not filming a podcast, I'm not all dressed up, and hell, my hat's not on half the time, and I'm going almost bald, you know what I mean? So we all do little performative things to, like, show people different sides of ourselves or elevate ourselves to people, right? Would you say, Dave Crumbley, that when you do stand-up, you're performing an elevated version of yourself, a character, or would you say that your comedy is coming from, no, just straight out of the regular guy?
It's a friendlier, more customer service version of me, but I'm always up.
No.
I'm always up. I'm always loud. I'm always ready to go get it. I'm always ready to go.
Needed.
No, I'm natural, all natty.
Yeah.
I'm always ready. A lot of coffee, but I'm always ready to get after it. So yeah, if I'm hosting a show, I'm Dave in a good mood.
Yeah.
I'm always in a good mood and positive and smiley and jumping up and down, and sometimes in my life I get, like, pissy and down, of course, as everyone does, but, like, I'm always pretty up, loud, ready to get it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're getting pretty close here to our time. Dave Crumbley, I've got to ask you just a couple more things before we go. For anybody who's watching this who has never done comedy before, but might be like me at home, writing in my little notebooks and whatever, and, you know, what would you say to a person who maybe doesn't know about the comedy in the area, hasn't found events or anything like that? How does somebody find their space to be able to do comedy.
You should clip this part. This would be helpful for both of us, actually. If you're trying to do stand-up comedy in Toledo, I want you to know, very important, there is no barrier to entry with this stuff. You don't have to go to comedy class. You don't have to take a course. Those things help, but you don't have to do it. There is no barrier to entry. If you have a good attitude, if you can take direction, if you want to do well, if you just want to try it, it's a bucket list thing. Find me on Instagram. I am Dave Crumbley. Dave, Crumbley. Send me a DM. And we have open mics every Sunday night at Home Slice Pizza, every Thursday nights in the underground of Toledo Spirits Company. We will get you on stage. We'll figure it out. You will get on stage within a week of DMing me. We are always looking for new people. I have so many spots to fill. I'm trying to build a big scene in Toledo. This is not a gate kept thing at all. Like, there is a gate, but someone is standing at the door of the gate saying, okay, this is how you...
Yeah.
We're waving people through. There is a gate, but we're waving them through. Like, we want you to be involved, to get involved. Send me a DM, Dave Crumbley on Insta.
All right. Well, that's for people in the Toledo area. What if you're like out in bumfuck Colorado?
Yeah, fine. Bumfuck. Go on Facebook. Go on Facebook. If you're just trying to find an open mic, go on Facebook and search for whatever your major metropolitan area is. If you live in bumfuck, whatever, I'm sure an hour away there's a real town with stuff, and there will be stuff. There is a comedy scene in every city in the nation. Some are very advanced and have like professional comedians floating around. Some are just drunk people talking to a microphone, but on some level, there is stand-up comedy that exists within an hour of you, anywhere you are in the country. If that is not true for you, I guess if you live in like Alaska or something, if you live in like a barrack,
or like a remote island.
Yeah, if you're in like some Solid Snake like barrack, like maybe there's no open mic, but
But even then, there's the internet, right? And you can make yourself a platform nowadays. Even if the platform's not there, you can make yourself a platform, like what we're doing now.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to be creative, but
you can also, I think, one of the things I mentioned on my first show is that because we were talking about drag, is that if there aren't drag shows in your area, you could go to your bar if you wanted to see one and be like, hey, I like this bar a lot. I think it would be good to have a drag show here. And the bartender might laugh at you, but they might keep it in mind and be like, maybe there is a market for that, right? Because if a venue doesn't know that people want to come see comedy at that bar, they might never have put it together. You know what I mean? They might not consider that, oh, hey, my patrons already want to see it. They won't see it as an inconvenience, right? Because some bars, I assume, have an affront to comedy because they're like, or an app. What is it? Not affect. They have this bias against it because they might see it as invasive to the bar's ecosystem.
It might be.
Yeah, depending on the bar, right? But if the patrons are already at that bar saying, "Hey, we would want comedy here," just like I was talking about with Drag with Frida Nips on the first show, request it. Nothing ever comes bad from just saying, hey, I'd like to have this thing. And if they say no,
power concedes nothing without demand.
Exactly.
Lord Acton said that.
Yeah. God damn it. You're looking like the smart one now. No, I have to one must imagine Sisyphus happy. Not Alan,
Lord Acton said that.
Cummings. What was this? Camus. Albert Camus said what I said. Yeah. I read books too. I don't know who Lord Acton is. Is he a philosopher?
He wrestled in Memphis. He was CWA.
He was a wrestler. So he was a philosopher on the mat.
In the ring, yeah.
As we are philosophers on the mic, right? Before we get done here, Dave Crumbley, are there any comedians who inspired you along your journey?
Jerry Seinfeld is my god. I love him, Jerry. If you're watching, Shawn will be here.
Doubt it.
I love you.
What's the deal?
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I want to kiss you.
No, don't kiss me, Dave Crumbley. No! impressions I can do are like Jerry Seinfeld and like maybe Trump on a good day when I have a cold. And I hate it because I found out I can do the Jerry Seinfeld because one day I was like, I had a rough day and I was crying. I was like really exacerbated.
Yeah.
And my voice just naturally does that when I'm crying.
Yeah.
And one of my friends just starts laughing at me because he's like, hey, you sound like Seinfeld. And that's our time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end it here. I've been Shawn Will.
I'm Dave Crumbley.
Oh, yeah, this has been Dave Crumbley. And this has been Be Here. So why don't you be here next time? Bye!
Hey everybody, thank you for watching Shawn Will Be Here. I have been Shawn Will, like I said during the last part of this clip. But, this week's episode took a long time to edit. My cameras fell over. I might include a clip of that here in the outro. So, I don't know. It's been really hard to film this week's podcast. So, if you really liked it, really enjoyed having Dave Crumbley on, make sure you subscribe and like and all that stuff. And, share it around. Because the more people who get their eyes on this, the more types of guests we can have on. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm not saying anything specific or anything. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to make this the best podcast hosted by anyone in Northwest Ohio, which means we've got to get the best guests on Northwest Ohio on, right? So, I'm just saying, if there's anyone specifically you want on the podcast, make sure you keep watching, because, you never know who's going to show up. At least in Monopoly form. We always have that. So... All right. Peace.